Yo, what's up? It's your boy Nick LaVelle, aka Mr. Holwell, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
I don't know what you expect of me. What do you want from me? Yeah.
All right, today we got Nick LaVelle jumping off the porch with us today.
It's popping with you, man. We in this bit.
For sure. What's going on with your gang?
Everything. Feeling good, you know what I'm saying? We in a new year. That's
Yeah.
a great feeling, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't make it, so it's a good vibe. Definitely.
For sure. Happy New Year to you, gang.
Yeah.
So tell us, what you out here working on in Atlanta?
Well, I live in Atlanta, but, you know what I'm saying, being from Detroit, you know, I'm just, you know, trying to change the scenery for myself. But ultimately, you know, working on new music, you know, new projects coming, you know, shooting videos, just finished up tour. So just trying to get a lot of more stuff, you know, a lot more content and everything, you know, on deck.
That's real. So seeing where you are today, how would you describe coming up on the west side of Detroit?
It's like real matrical. I always say that, cause like growing up in Detroit, I was always outgoing, always on the scene, but never really was into the like music. But it's kind of crazy, cause like I sung in a choir when I was younger, but it wasn't like the main church choir. We had like a subsidiary choir, sung in that, but it was just for fun. Then did little rap shows and stuff in middle school, but really didn't go nowhere. Did little talent shows, but I wasn't trying to go in the direction of music. I always played sports, so that was like the direction for me. Then when I went to college, I ended up trying music towards the end of my years, and when I graduated, that's when I moved to Atlanta for the first time back in 2015, trying to chase this music dream and all that. So just seeing like the way I am, like the way I grew up, and then just the transition from all the trials and tribulations I overcame trying to do music to where I'm now, it's just like, it's definitely overwhelming, but it's definitely like, you know, so I'll say satisfactory, you know what I mean?
That's real. So going back to your roots, how would you say the west side of Detroit made you who you are today?
Just being in Detroit in general, cause like growing up on the west side is two different type of, you know, it's two type of vibes, you know. I grew up in the hood, but I wasn't in the hood, and I've always been an advocate for that. Like it is what it is. Like I'm not no street nigga. I don't claim to be that. It is what it is. I'm a man first. Yeah. I stand on real principle. I don't gotta be something that I'm not. I'm not in the gang or nothing like that. So being in Detroit on the west side, I seen a lot of shit, but I didn't indulge in it. I literally like was, you know, just in my own zone. You know what I'm saying? I always fuck with the ladies. I always played sports. I always tried to do, you know, just, you know, kid fun shit, you know, growing up. But then it's like, you know, now I'm an adult and I see shit at face value and see what it really is. And now you know, like, okay, yeah, that shit was never nothing anyway.
Yeah. So when would you say you jumped off the porch?
Like, me personally, like, I would say, like, I really started getting shit popping for me, like, trying to get on, like, my own was, like, 16. That's, like, when my parents got divorced. I actually, like when they split, my dad still lived in Detroit, and my mom moved to, like, the suburbs of Detroit, which was a city called Dearborn. And then that's where I finished, like, my last year of high school there, because I was at Renaissance in Detroit for 2.5 years. So after that was kind of like the separation. And when you in a household, like, cause I'm a father, so it's like, when I see the difference how my sons act with their mothers opposed to how they act with me. So I seen that same shit with myself. And like me being in just a household with my mom, she had to work and she really couldn't really like be on us, cause she was working and going to school at the time. So we like, you know, this is our first opportunity like to really like do our own thing. And we just, you know, cause it was just me and my sister, my little brother, and we just doing, you know, not what the fuck ever, but we kind of was like, that was our jumping off the porch. We was feeling like we can do what we want, or we was kind of like growing into ourselves and shit like that.
That's real.
Yeah.
So how would you say, how important fatherhood is to you now? Let me ask you again.
It's so important now because it showed me so much about myself as a man, and then in general, just responsibilities. Because when you out here playing, it's like, niggas can play all day because they don't got nothing else to lose. I got shit to lose, so I don't got time to argue with niggas on social media. I don't got time to be trying to be thugged out and beefing with niggas. Like, nigga, I'm about peace and getting to the bag.
Yeah.
So when you got children and you got children that you are involved in their lives and they know you, it's a different ball game. Some of these niggas got kids, but they ain't doing nothing. But when you got children and your children live with you half of the year and you're flying to different states to make sure they on point and getting them down here and making sure, even my baby moms making sure they on point, it's just a different type of hustle for me, because now I'm not just hustling for myself, I'm hustling for like the generation to come. So I think that really shaped me to a different type of animal.
No, that's real. So what would you say is the biggest life lesson you learned so far?
I ain't gonna lie, but one of the just biggest life lessons in general is procrastination, and just taking care of shit when it needs to be done. That's a life lesson. I caught cases because of technical shit that I didn't do, and it caused a domino effect on other shit. And I think like not being on time, not being punctual, those are like life lessons that if there's anything I can tell anybody, it's like, yo, that's what you want to stand on. You want to make sure that you on point. You want to make sure you handle business when it's time. When it's deadlines, make sure you meet them deadlines. It don't matter what you're doing in life, meet the deadline or be before the deadline. That way you ain't gotta be worrying about what's going on. Cause I think that's, you know what I'm saying, that would be life lessons. I know most people think like, oh, it's the kids. No, hell no, it's real shit that you gotta do whether you had kids or not.
Yeah, that's real. So like you said, you never envisioned yourself full-fledged musician, right?
Nah.
So how did you start making music?
I got like 4 goddamn stories, 4 different lanes or 4 different scenarios for my music. For me, it was just doing it to have fun. I love singing.
Yeah.
So I'm not the best singer, and I haven't been the best singer. I'm still growing as an artist, but I've always sing and rap. So I always try to make sure I keep both of them in my arsenal, and just doing it for fun. When I first started doing music, I was getting hoed back in college. Like they was laughing at me. Like it just was. They was just talking shit. Cause I recorded in a damn dorm. I ain't had no good production. I didn't know shit about music. I didn't know anything. I didn't have anyone to teach it to me. So it was like, I'm learning the best way I can. And as I took that, like I persevered over that, cause I was like, all right, shit, I'm gonna try it again. This is years later. And I dropped the record on Facebook, and like my college reacted, like the way that my peers reacted was like crazy. So I kind of looked at that as like, damn, let me try this shit, start doing music a little bit more. I went to Baltimore to do a contest, and it was like 90 contestants. And I always tell this story, my shit is never gonna change. This is real shit, this is exactly how it happened. We drove from Detroit to Baltimore. I was like 4 of us. And that's about an 8-hour drive, you know what I mean? This in January, so the weather is kind of crazy going towards the East Coast and in up top. So we get to the contest. We at Norma Jeans. Anybody that's in Baltimore, they know about Norma Jeans. It's a strip club and whatnot. They got some bad little bitches in that motherfucker too. So this is back in 2016, and we doing the show. As soon as I'm getting prepped for my first act, a lady in the back tell me like, y'all niggas drove from Detroit to do this shit rigged. Like they already know who they gonna pick and everything. So my confidence shitted on. I'm like, damn. Cause we didn't pay $100. So you got 90 niggas and paid 100, and then they charging you 20 to get in. So they making a killing regardless.
Yeah.
But the cash prize was like $1,000 to the winner, radio interview. So we go ahead and we say, you know what, we drove here, so at least I'm gonna get some fans, I'm gonna network, cause that's just me, you know what I mean? So I do my thing. First round, I go to the next round. My first performance, I go to the next round, unanimous. Second performance, I get 2 out of 3 votes, so I still make it to the next round. So now this is 90 niggas that perform. I had to perform about like number 50. So I'm watching 40 other niggas go after me. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm waiting. So then it's like, it's just dragging. So now I get to the end, it's down to 3 contestants. I'm down to the last 3. I'm like, God damn, I'm good right here. I'm good, because I prayed on it. I'm like, shit, I prayed before I even came. I'm like, all right, God, let me know, like whatever I get out of this, let me know if this is the direction I need to be in. Because it's like, if I would have lost the first round, I probably would have gave up on music. I'd have been like, I ain't doing this shit no more. Because at the time I was throwing parties and shit, making money. So I was like, all right, I'm cool. But it came down to the last 3. They was like, you know what? We're gonna split the money between everybody, and we're gonna give all y'all radio interview. One dude said, nah, I ain't fucking with that. It's all or nothing for me. So we tight, me and the other group, cause I'm like, nigga, we was cool. It was all right, everybody split, we get $300, $330. We like straight, that's more than what we put in. So we like, cool, as long as we ain't lose.
Yeah.
And we like, this is accomplishment for us. So the judge was like, well, we're gonna go to the crowd and let the crowd pick the winner. They went to the crowd picked me. I won the whole bitch. I ended up giving a couple dollars to the other nigga that was cool with, and that right there solidified my position and like thinking like just mentally like, all right, cool. I just drove from a whole nother state, performed from an audience that ain't never seen me before, so I know it's not biased. They don't got no reason to like me.
Yeah.
I didn't pay nobody to like me. Like this shit is real. Like I'm like, nigga, this is off music, talent, swag, and whatever I think that made them like fuck with me. But this is an organic ass like situation. So
Yeah.
after that, that's what kind of like shifted my focus. Like, all right, I'm gonna take this shit serious. And then I just started, you know, dumping money into my craft and just, you know, putting myself in position. I started throwing shows. My next lane was I had booked Jacquees for a show back in Kalamazoo, Michigan. At the time, Jacquees was still coming up, but he was hot though. So I put myself on the show with him, promoted it, paid for radio, paid for all the marketing, me and my business partner, and we made 60 racks off that show. But the show sold out. So it helped push me some more, built a relationship with him, built a relationship with his camp, and then that opened up more doors, and then I ended up going on tour with him the next year. So it's just like, just with the music, everything with me was just been domino effect, just trying shit, spending money here, doing this shit, dealing with this person. Never signed to no label, had about 3-4 label meetings in my time. I done did about 4 tours since I've been doing music, and you know, I done accumulated over 1 million views, over 1 million streams between all my music, so it's like, shit, I gotta be doing something right, you know what I mean?
Out, yeah.
So that's how I kind of like got into the music for me.
That's real.
Yeah.
But we ain't gonna skip over the fact that you just ain't go on no regular tour, my nigga. You went on the Millennial Tour.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. How did you land a place on the Millennial Tour with all these big names? Jacquees, who else was on the
No, Jacquees wasn't on the Millennial Tour. The Millennial Tour was more so, it had Pretty Ricky, Soulja Boy, Bow Wow, Omarion, Yin Yang Twins, Sammy, Lloyd, and Ashanti, which I still feel are some of the biggest artists of our generation.
No cap.
They are Grammy Award winning artists, platinum, multi-platinum artists. Like these are, and they still stream very well. They stream better than some of these artists nowadays and still getting paid. And we clearly can see they're selling out shows. So, you know, it was like me whenever I do any type of situation like this, I always gotta give thanks to the people that put the play together. One of my partners back in Muskegon named JR, he's a real workhorse. Like he's always trying to put shit together and helping me with just marketing and help me, you know what I'm saying, get my shit out there more. And the thing is, we both just come from 2 different lanes, but we kind of still tapped in, and how we met was just dope. So he was working another concert and he met a young lady named Tara. And Tara, she pretty much was one of the tour managers for the tour, or she was just connected with it. And he sent my shit over to her, and she checked me out. And she was like, oh, so we set up a meeting. And I was explaining to her my vision, what I'm trying to do, and all that. And she got back with me, went to the tour, and you know, they came up with like, they wanted a budget for, artists for a tour like that. You buying in on that, because it just don't make sense. They not really giving nobody a lane. So they threw me a number, and like I said at the time, I had the money. So I said, shit, I'm gonna spend it. And I got all my affairs in order and just prayed on it, because I was back and forth on it. And it was just, once it happened, it was crazy. But it's so it's so wild how all this shit transpired, because I was only supposed to do like 8 shows. After them seeing me perform, they ended up throwing me on extra shows, just because they said, okay, the dates where they didn't have no openers, you could come open. And they just looked at the schedule and they was like, boom. I still had to cover my travel on that, which was cool, but it was amazing, because it was like, damn, I started off just doing 8 shows, and I progressed. I done grew on these people. They really, really vibe with me. And I ended up getting features from artists on the tour, doing shows with them, like after parties with them, kicking it, just vibing out, and introducing my team to them and shit like that made it like even more like a dope experience.
So taking it back to the kid that was at Western Michigan University recording in the dorms, would you say it was all worth it?
Yeah. So like, cause one thing about me, I like to just be so straight up with it. I only recorded one song in a dorm. Shout out to D Nice and B Louie. They was the first dudes that I ever recorded any song ever in my life with, and it was in their dorm, because they was the hottest kids on the yard. They was like, they had a rap record called, dang, I forgot what the joint was, but they was hot. And I was like, all right, cool, so they hot, shit, can I come record? Y'all can show me what I need to do. We did something. And like I said, it was all right. It wasn't really shit, because it was just like it was like 2 songs I recorded, and they was just like some bullshit records. It was just me trying some music.
Yeah.
But the game changer for me wasn't, it ain't had shit to do with Western. You know what I mean? I love my college, but sometimes I'd be like, fuck it, because a lot of them people didn't like me already, so anything I put out, they wasn't gonna give me a fair shot any fucking way, even if it was good. So
What about your fraternity brothers? Was they rocking with you?
Yeah, see that right there, that's a whole nother lane, because, you know, my fraternity, Iota Phi Theta, I gotta give them so much like kudos, because a lot of them cats at other universities were putting shit together to bring me to their colleges to get my name out. I've done a lot of like personal tours, like college tours, where I was just setting up shows at different universities across the East Coast, the Midwest, and shit like that. And if I just so happen to be on the West Coast and I tap in, now it's like, okay, now I'm with I'm tapping in with the Iotas out there, and they putting shit together for me. So definitely the fraternity put a whole nother little element, added a whole nother element to the situation. But the shit that changed my life for music was me meeting, like I said, B Louie, D Nice, they got me popping with it. Like they were my first people to introduce me for the music. But then I dropped that shit. Then I went to, I heard this record from my homie Sterling, and that nigga, the dude that was singing on the record, I was like, damn, where you record that shit at? He started recording in Detroit. Now, where we go to college at is 2 hours west. And you know what I'm saying, you from Chicago, so you like, you know, Western Michigan is halfway point between Chicago and Detroit. So we'll go to Chicago, party sometimes, or we'll go to Detroit, party. So I'm like, shit, at this time, I'm working at PNC Bank. I'm working Monday through Friday, I don't get out till 5, and it's like, damn, I gotta drive 2 hours to Detroit and catch the studio, and then I still gotta drive back on Sunday to get back home just so I can get ready for work. So he introduced me to a cat named Charles Hines, and Charles Hines was a songwriter and a producer in Detroit that was up and coming, and he was dope. So I pulled up on him. We recorded my first song, Came With, and that's when I dropped it on Facebook and the whole university. Now everybody fucking with it. They was like, damn, I didn't know he had. They said, who, this Nick? Because it's like, you know, when motherfuckers don't like you, they need to be persuaded and bear down just to respect the fact that, damn, this nigga's actually pretty dope. You know what I mean? So that was the life-changing, or the switch that flicked for me to do the music. So I was like, cool, all right, let me try this shit, see what's going on.
That's real. So with you driving up the R&B lane, right, would you say that's a genre that's dying out in today's time? Because, you know, we don't see a lot of male R&B singers anymore like we used to see, like the Jodeci's, you know what I'm saying? We don't see, like, you know what I'm saying, that shit no more. So would you say that's a dying genre? And who would you say is the king of R&B today?
I don't think it's a dying genre. I think there's always gonna be a room for R&B, because R&B is balance.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It brings balance. It brings balance to hip hop in general. Everybody can relate to R&B. You know, hip hop is gonna always dominate because it reconciles with everyone. I mean, it resonates with everyone. Like, no matter what generation, no matter what race, you're gonna love hip hop, and you can go, and you don't even gotta speak the language, and you're gonna rock with the shit. It's just R&B, see, society has perpetuated this image that men needs to be hard all the time. There's no room for a man to be sensitive. There's no room for a man to be soft. That ain't true to me, because that's why we have the violent crime rate and the high crime rate, because people haven't allowed men to be, like, we emotional too. When a man murder another man, that's off emotion. You ain't murder him because you know what I'm saying? It's impulsive a lot of the times. And that's the issue. We're not allowed to be soft. We're not allowed to be sensitive. And at the end of the day, you gotta be a true man to yourself. You gotta be true to yourself. I'm a true nigga. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm true to myself.
Yeah.
I don't allow anybody to dictate my emotions and my feelings. I get tapped into that shit. I get called light skinned. I embrace it. Fuck it. It is what it is. Like, I'll still beat a nigga ass straight up. You know what I mean? I don't gotta be hood or nothing.
Yeah.
I keep my shit cool and everything. So it's like R&B, I like being the rap looking R&B nigga. You know what I'm saying? I like still wearing my chains. I still like, you know what I'm saying, having my diamonds, like driving my whips and being that nigga and still singing. Who gives a fuck? Like that's what it is. Cause I know there's a lane for it. Even at home, niggas is fucking to R&B shit. You ain't fucking to no hood shit unless you ramming a bitch. Unless you ramming a bitch from the back, goddammit. But outside of that, yeah, it's gonna always be a lane for that. And right now, I don't think there's no new kings of R&B. I think the kings of R&B right now still standing strong. It ain't one person. It's kings. You know what I mean? You got Usher.
Yeah.
He's still top tier. You know what I mean? You got Tank. You got Chris Brown, who's still holding it down. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like, you know, Trey Songz, he's still playing, you know, he's still one of them niggas in the R&B. And even over them, you still got Keith Sweat. You know what I mean? You got Bobby Brown. You got niggas. And I hate to say it, but I keep it a buck because, like, I separate music from their personal because I don't judge you. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't judge, but your personal life has nothing to do with your music.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what you do in your spare time, once again, like, even if I don't agree with it, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, it don't affect me now. As long as you ain't fucking touching my daughter or saying nothing to my daughter or none of my sons, I'm cool with it. But R. Kelly, he's still one of the kings of R&B. You know what I mean? His music still, right now, you can play in the club, no matter what his perception is or how people perceive him, he's still one of them, he one of them dominant individuals when it comes to the music, especially on the R&B side.
That's real. So let's talk about your latest single, On the Side.
On the Side. It's so crazy. On the Side, you know, shout out to Kiara. She dope singer, songwriter also. She wrote the record. My homie Jay Minor, he produced it. It was during the pandemic. I recorded a lot of this music, you know, a year and a half ago, just getting records together, just putting stuff in wax. I was in the studio just putting shit together, and we was just talking about, you know, I'm always talking about side nigga shit and always talking about being in a relationship or not being in a relationship but still having your cake and you know, all type of shit. So when I did the record, everything was dope, everything came out. I shot the video. Like I said, I did all this shit a year ago. I just had to get right to get it out. But what ended up happening was I was just, I had shouted one of my homegirls out like on her birthday, and her baby daddy had kind of got on tip with me. Like, I just shouted her out. I ain't say nothing crazy or nothing. And I mean, the girl, we do got like a small little pass, but that's the homie. You know what I mean? That was before even me even getting involved with my little shorty and nothing like that. And, you know, dog was like antagonizing me on Instagram and shit. And like I said, like, I don't do no street shit. I tell nigga, I say, listen, nigga, I move how I move. At the end of the day, if you see me in traffic, nigga, do what you gotta do. But I mean, it is what it is. But it was just so funny. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop my single on this same day. Cause he looking at it like, hey, why you fucking my bitch? You ain't gotta post my bitch, nothing like that. I'm like, bro, you gotta relax. You know what I mean? But it's so funny because when you talk about, in the record, I talk about just being on the side, but keeping me on the side. Like, don't tell anything about me. A lot of times, what happens with women, or even men, you'll be fucking with somebody and you a side nigga or she a side bitch. They'll get in their feelings because some shit didn't go right, or say it don't go right, or they'll get caught up. You get caught up, bitch, kill your side. Don't tell me, don't tell on me, don't mention me, nothing, don't bring me up. Like, that's what the song is about, like, nigga, keeping me on the side. Don't mention me. Like, let's have fun, let's do what we do, and let's just keep everything out of harm's way, out of hindsight. Cause a nigga kill over some pussy, and it's been happening over decades. And it's like, I ain't trying to go out over no bitch, especially if I'm on the side, like, nigga, it is what it is. But like I said, it's the game we play in. Once you get involved like that, you gotta know what comes with it.
I feel that. So what should listeners expect from your upcoming project?
More toxic ass music. That's that's really what it's about, man. It's so fucked up because, I mean, I'm not singing about love. I can't, because I look at shit different. I can love a woman, but I can still want to fuck other bitches. And somebody will look at that and be like, you don't love her. So I don't even know what love is no more. So I'm not singing about that shit.
That's real.
I'm singing
That's some real
about shit that I know that I go through. Like, nigga, I'm in Miami. I got 10, 15 bitches in the penthouse. You know what I'm saying? We you know what I'm saying? Shit might go down, shit may not. We on a yacht, we on a boat. This shit that I live, you know what I'm saying? Just traveling and going on tour. And I'm not really into fucking with niggas' girls. That's some real shit. I'm not into that personally because it just don't do nothing for me. Like I don't want that shit on me because I just know how niggas can't handle it. So I'm talking about that in the music. Women insecurities, men insecurities in the music. I'm still promoting, you know, my big single right now, Bad Bitch, because it's, you know, I'm continuously trying to like showcase a different vibe when it comes to a bad bitch. A lot of women think because they look good and they get 1 million likes and views on Instagram that, oh yeah, I'm a bad bitch. And I'd be like, I know a lot of these girls and I go to their crib and they sharing this shit with 3 other bitches, or they stand in a nigga crib and they driving a nigga whip. I like women who got their own shit. That's what's a bad bitch to me. So, you know, I got that record on the project and got a couple features too. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we can get this shit cleared and all together so I can drop this motherfucker. Gotta be holding niggas up right there.
For sure. So what else you working on?
I just, just aside from music, I am, you know, I call myself an entrepreneur artist because at the end of the day, a lot of times you get in the music industry and you get the bag from the labels and you spend it on some bullshit. I got everything. I got the big ass crib already. I got the whips and the chains and the swag, all that shit. Now I'm just investing. So I own a couple properties across the country. I also, you know, own a credit repair company. So I help build credit on the side. And I just became owner of a club here in Atlanta. We getting ready to, you know what I'm saying? Well, we just finalized all the paper, everything good and all that. We just getting permits and getting shit moving. But, you know, I'm just in my entrepreneur bag because that's gonna always be here. I mean, that's where I wanna make sure, like, that's really like one of the top priorities because, like I said, music is definitely something that I love, you know what I mean? But, it, you know, it may not ever work out the way that I want it to, but I know for sure I'm gonna always chase a bag. So that's that. And then I'm also getting ready to film a movie. So I'm getting into the acting and all that shit, so.
That's cool, man. Any last words and shout outs?
Man, you know, it's just a blessing to be, you know, on this platform to, you know, to showcase like my talent or even just to showcase who I am. Because a lot of times, you know, people don't know who you are through the music. Yeah. Sometimes they gotta see, you know, your face and hear your voice and let that shit sink in their soul and their spirit. And I just want to continue to put great energy out, not only to myself, but to you fellas too, you know what I mean? So y'all can continue to do y'all thing.
Real spill.
For the most part.
Nick LaVelle, we appreciate having you on the porch with us today, gang.
Oh yeah. It's Nick LaVelle, man. Jumping off the motherfucking porch on you niggas.
I don't know what you expect of me. What do you want from me, yeah?